Where am I?
Ooh, fresh meat for the grinder.
Pay him no heed. He is cute, but he is. There's gotta be a way out of here.
There's no escape. The only hope is the sweet relief of death.
Whoa! Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
My army! Koopas! Goombas! Whatever those things are! Oh. We will destroy the Mushroom Kingdom!
Bowser is coming.
I'm not afraid. I'll do anything for my brother.
We're going to save him.
Yes! Fire!
You asked for it. This is fun.
Here we go!
Attack! Let's end this.
Okay, this time for sure. Hello and welcome to the Periodic Table of Awesome.
It's from my one and only.
Oh, for God's sake, shut up.
Oh, hello, Quinny. How you going there?
Oh, look, I'm so good, so good. All of this extra music happening and stuff like that.
Perfect.
It's been a while since we've used the old StreamYard.
Yes.
Sounds like you've forgotten how it works.
A little bit. Yeah,
That's my
turns
fault
out
because
harder than I remember. Yeah,
I decided to go away for Easter, and it's just thrown everyone off. Like, you know, look, Jill's not even in the right gaming zone.
I'm in the superior Green Hills zone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Jill is doing it right. Let's be honest.
Peter's in a cupboard somewhere.
Nobody puts Peter in a cupboard.
Yeah. Oh dear. But we're here. We're here to talk about things, aren't we? What are we talking about, Quinny?
Well, I don't know. What are we doing? Your background kind of says
is
it all.
Is it Transformers? Because that's what your background. You are very heavily laden.
Legally separate and distinct.
What do you mean? This distinct thing about Super Mario Formers? New from the Asylum Film Group.
Yes, of course, we are talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie. And already Adsky is in for the shit accent of the bad Bob Hoskins impersonation.
Okay. No, do bad John Leguizamo.
I can't because John Leguizamo is a national treasure and I love him dearly.
Great.
Yes, that's how it is and that's how it's always going to be.
How's everyone's Easter going? Good? Do we have any chocolate?
Yes, but I don't want to come back from Easter. I wanted to stay at Easter. I don't want to go back to work. I don't want to get back to work.
Why can't you just ride Easter through to Anzac Day and then deal with it later?
I'm trying my best. I am trying my best.
Yeah. I'm doing well. My Easter has been the kind of joy that you only get as a 40-something-year-old man. Where I, of course, tried to trim my toenails and threw my back out. So I have hobbled my way through Easter. I went and watched this in the cinema, and about 3/4 of the way through, I was like, this is fucked, because not only am I in pain one way, but two ways.
Oh,
bend and snap, Winnie. Bend and
showing
snap.
your cards early.
Yeah. Oh, hang on, Pete,
honey, is still muted.
Muted. You need to unmute you because I can't unmute you. There you go.
Thought
Now,
I'd
what were you saying,
done
Pete?
It's right. It's like I didn't try to contribute earlier than that, so it's fine. You didn't miss anything.
Karina makes the point that I want permanent 4-day weekends. I'm on a 5-day weekend because I work for a university that's based in the state that takes the Easter Tuesday off too.
Nice.
Because why not?
Yeah.
Look, Karina, if we take 4-day weekends, we're going to have to work until we're 100. So I don't know how to balance that.
I don't know, guys. The 4-day work week is actually seriously taking off.
I'm down for the 4-day work week. I'm like right into that.
Maybe we should just start another.
Have like a long weekend, you don't get just as much work done in those 4 days as you're just trying to get everything out so that you can enjoy the long weekend?
Absolutely. Well, that's my theory anyway.
I don't know what's work. Who knows? I've been in regional New South Wales. It's a
How's
great time.
that working for you?
I'm tethering off my phone, so I have no idea if this is going to go out and actually work anywhere. Good luck to it. If I drop, I've just gone into what's the bad zone in Mario? What's the bad area? Where are those?
I don't know. Any underwater level? Ice levels?
I don't know. I've never. Okay.
The panning screen that doesn't stop and you can't go back.
Oh,
yes.
Fuck. Yeah, I hated that.
Full disclosure, was never a Super Mario kid. Wasn't a Nintendo person. Never really played any of the sort of Nintendo franchise things. Don't get it at all.
Wow.
And still haven't.
That explains why the conversation after the movie was very heavily focused on just Beck, Byron, and myself, like going back and forth about what Nintendo games we played and where we saw what character and who had what game. Yeah.
And me just standing there going,
The whole Nintendo thing kind of was lost on you, Hardy.
Yeah, I mean, I understand it. Like, I get it. Like, Super Nintendo. Actually, there's a lie. I did play on the Super Nintendo Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
That's okay.
But that's not really part of the Nintendo franchise.
No, not generally considered to be a big part of the Nintendo world. I mean, realistically, one of the biggest enjoyments that you're going to get out of this film is just hunting for like Nintendo Easter eggs.
Well, this is part of the thing. I understand the Easter egg stuff, but I mean, I played with my Wii when that came out. What? Is that not what you're supposed to do?
No, you play with other people with your Wii.
You play other people's
play with other
Wiis.
people's
Okay.
Wiis.
Okay,
Yeah. You go around to other people's places and you play with their Wii.
I played with the Wii. I understand that there was a whole thing. Isn't there an exercise person from Nintendo Land?
Oh, yes, the Wii Fit trainer.
The Wii Fit trainer, and that's about all I have though for it. Nothing else.
Okay.
It's funny because the Nintendo 64 was the only console we ever owned as kids. So, like, this is literally the only thing that I can speak to in the gaming realm at all.
So, did you have Super Mario Brothers on the Super?
We had Super Mario 64 and we had Mario Kart. So I understood those references.
Yay! Yay! So you're not going to be asking "but why" as much?
One can still ask "but why" if one does understand the references.
Okay.
Sometimes the references are applied poorly, and a "but why" still happens.
This is true. This is very,
because this is the movie version, and Peter knows movies and gets confused by movies, as I was confused by this ever increasingly long change in background templates for the Super Mario Brothers movie. It's like, where are we now? Oh, this is just an excuse to go from background template to background template.
Yes, we were in the Mushroom Kingdom. Anyway. Now we're in a different kingdom. And now we're somewhere else entirely. Ice Kingdom, probably. I don't know.
But you know what? In the session that we were in, the fucking kids clapped and cheered at the end. And I sat there going, well, it's going to do fine. Yeah. Like, it may not be for me, but this is going to do fine.
That was also my feeling. I started watching the movie and I went, oh no, I'm in a kid's film.
Mm.
And I think maybe many of us made the mistake based on one trailer and the source material that this film would be for us. And I think that this film is actually not for us and we just made a giant assumption.
I think you may be right. And judging by the fact that it's made $375 million in its opening weekend and is the highest grossing animated film ever of an opening weekend, maybe we called it wrong. Just perhaps.
But everyone in Japan went and saw it. Like, that's why it made $375 million.
Yeah.
Because everyone in Japan is always going to go and see it. And there's a lot of people in Japan.
There are, but also I guarantee you, like, we've got Sly here. Sly's managed to watch it twice over the weekend and somehow fell asleep both times. Well done. Well done, Sly. That's very impressive.
Good job, Sly. Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's one of those things that is going to appeal to an incredibly broad spectrum because Mario. It's like having, I don't know, a film of Mickey Mouse or something like that. But like, I can't think of a cultural icon quite the same anymore. Like, you know, there's nothing that I can think of now that has the same level of cultural awareness that Mario has. Bluey. Okay. I'm not quite sure that Bluey's there yet.
Well, Bluey has the level of cultural awareness, but without the decades of generational history backing it, I think. But what Bluey does, which I don't believe this movie did do, is actually appeal across generations with its writing and material. Fucking love watching an episode of Bluey. The kids don't need to be in the room, to be frank. It's a great show. And actually, it does that very successful thing that a lot of kids' movies do, where it has... where it has...
Peter, you've been spending a lot of time around.
Week with just 4 to 7-year-olds. So that's where I'm at. So I feel like I'm in the kids' headspace at the moment. And I feel like what Bluey does really, really successfully, like movies like Shrek and a lot of the other Pixar films, is really successfully write to kids and adults on different levels, but at the same time. And that's what I felt was possible but missing from this entire film.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Because, I mean, I've got a lot of very big opinions about it. I mean, I've written some of them in the ticker, but just look down there. Eventually, something snarky will go on by.
So should I just shut up and read the ticker, and then I'll be like,
no. I actually think the best thing that I'd seen about this film was actually one of your comments in our chat thread, Jill, about the use of the phrase "Mamma Mia."
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna slap the roof of that movie. It can fit so many Mamma Mias in it.
Holy shit, they lent in on that Mamma Mia, didn't they?
Fit so many Mamma Mias.
Yeah, I mean, there's a funny thing that I always know with Mario is like in this way they just kind of lent into the racial stereotyping, and I was like, really? I mean, in terms of the directorial choices, I mean, I think there was some absolute whack job decisions made within the film, but most on the whole, I kind of feel like 90% of it they got a pretty solid straight movie, and then 10% of it was just people going, no, you need to put this in, and it's like, no, we don't, but okay, fine. Like it's somehow it's snuck through.
Yeah, I really feel like it was like, how much of a chokehold did Nintendo have on the production of this movie? Because it seems like any kind of story was completely taken out of it just for product placement, which is entirely the whole film. Because I mean, the only way I can describe this movie to someone is like, have you ever played Super Mario? And if they say yes, they'll be like, well, that's what the movie is. Or if you don't know how to play Super Mario, watch the movie. Because there's literally
pretty much it.
Segues throughout the whole film that make zero sense, but it just puts you in another space in the game to explain to you how the game works.
Before we go too much further, I do want to do a synopsis, and I think that is important because we have a structure as to how we do these things, and musically, I feel like we need to be accompanied. Going to be doing it. Hang on, there we go. I think you can all hear that.
Yes.
Okay. Now, somebody wanted it in the style of Bob Hoskins. I'm not going to do that. I can't do that because, I mean, he's dead, so that'd be in poor taste.
Do it in the style of Charles Martinet.
Okay. A Brooklyn plumber named Mario. He travels through the Mushroom Kingdom. Oh, with a princess named Peach and an anthropomorphic, that's a fucking hard word, anthropomorphic mushroom named Toad, to find Mario's brother, Luigi, and to save the world from a ruthless, fire-breathing Koopa named Bowser, who is singing the song you can hear right now. Let's go. That's that. It's not a good martinet. I'm so sorry, Karina. Karina's ancestors are currently cringing, and I apologize.
I mean, I just
want to take a second for that lyric to really settle with you. Peaches, 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 peaches. Yeah. Okay. That's enough of that.
The time is over of that now. I'm surprised you didn't want to do it in the Seth Rogen accent.
Look, I did take enjoyment out of hearing Donkey Kong do the Seth Rogen laugh. So.
Yeah. No, I'm so good. Karina can take a joke which is what we're now calling that accent. So that's
yes.
So okay, that's our storyline. And if you haven't been aware of the storyline of Super Mario Brothers, it's been around for 40-something years.
Yeah,
Mario goes to a kingdom. There's a princess. That's it. She's in another castle. Move on.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
I think that my 7-year-old niece is going to love this movie. Like, I think she's going to love it, and I think that I'm going to be entrapped into doing Princess Peach roleplay with her. And for that reason, I'm considering not taking her.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Peta!
Jesus.
Wow! Holy shit!
Deny your niece access to what is very questionable decision-making processes just because you can't stand it. Jesus. Okay.
But that's the thing. I wanted to preface my comments with that because I do think that this is probably going to be a very successful kids film. And I think that kids will really enjoy it. And Mario is still out there for kids. I witnessed my niece playing whatever the latest version of Mario Kart on the Switch the other day. Like, it's for kids these days. For some reason, like, if you're playing badly, you can't fall off the edge. That's the thing.
I mean,
this is political correctness gone wild.
It's like putting the bumpers on when you're bowling.
But okay.
Yeah. But also, I wanted in the film, I wanted that whole, like, a Rainbow Road sequence to play out.
With the star that just comes and picks you up, put you back
on. Yeah, I wanted somebody to fall off the edge and then the movie just stop. And the little dude in the the thing comes down, lifts him back, and he's like, why were we worried about falling off the edge? That would have been fucking comedy gold, but they didn't do it.
But yeah, I wanted to preface everything with that because I really do think that that is the audience that this is intended for, and I am not that audience.
Yeah, I think the audience it's intended for is people with very few brain cells that don't need to make any kind of connection to a story. So
children.
Yeah, children.
Yeah, and they're
small children.
And they're perfectly fine with going from set piece to set piece with no connective tissue.
Yeah. Like, bright colors. One character.
Highly recognizable characters that they're able to point at the screen and go, it's Mario. Or it's Luigi. Or
this fucking movie lured me in the first 10 minutes. I was like, oh, there's a story. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm on board with this. And then all of a sudden it was just like bang, 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 bang. And I turned to Dion and I said, what is happening? Where's the plot? And then he's like, ah! And so I was like holding on for dear life for the rest of the movie.
I realized I was waiting for plot to happen multiple times where like a character would start talking, like Princess Peach would start talking. And I'm like, okay, we're going to get a bit of exposition here. No, Okay, we're just not going to get that. Okay, right, we're just going to go. We're going now. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
I think my first but why was when she just immediately started talking to Mario like she knew exactly who he was and what was going to happen. And I'm like, what, why? Huh?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually perfect for Keegan. He's not important.
Oh god.
Yeah, I like that. It's tight 2-hour round trip to the cinema, but
Yeah.
20 minutes to get there.
About it, you went to stop. It was not too long.
For a kids
Thank
film,
fuck.
which I'm having to reassess this as going, okay, this is a film for kids. Yeah, it's probably the perfect length. But I did still feel like it missed a whole bunch of opportunities for comedy. It missed a whole bunch of opportunities for, I don't know, like just building a world that made any fucking sense.
Don't get me wrong, I laughed a couple of times, but mostly just because there were consequential circumstances of what was happening that was funny, but not because there were any jokes that were being had.
No. How do we all feel about the Star Child nihilistic joke thing?
Okay, that is a
that
really
one
I
was-
do not understand because that's one of those with the game that I have never played.
Exactly. Lumily is from a very specific game, and if you have not played it, you probably don't know what's going on.
Okay, so please explain to me because I didn't know what the fuck that was all about.
It's
And I'm
a
like, this feels
character
like
from Super Mario Galaxy. It's the only, I think, the only game that this character appears in.
Right.
Yes.
And
Okay.
it can stay there because it's a terrible character and absolutely
I
had
don't
nothing.
think they're nihilistic in the game. I haven't played Super Mario Galaxy, but I did look up the character after we got out.
Because
It was
I
just
honestly,
a tonal
I'm sorry,
brick wall. No, so it was just a tonal brick wall. Whenever it came on, you're like, "What is going on here?" Because none of the rest of this.
Yeah, but I'm like,
matches to
was
what's
this
going on.
supposed to be? Was this supposed to be the joke for the adults? Like
I
because
think
it
so.
goes
No
over
adults-
the heads of the children.
No
Yeah.
adults or children were laughing when they were saying this. I could hear all the adults going, "Oh fuck! I hope my kid doesn't start repeating phrases like this."
give me the sweet relief of death.
I found it mildly amusing, but it didn't work as a joke for me because it was the one thing that I didn't recognize from my nostalgia pool.
And there's just no context for it either.
It doesn't work on anybody's nostalgia pool. And honestly, I feel like it was a hangover from another film, not another film, but another version of this script, because I occasionally felt like this was edging up towards something that had some wry, possibly meta humor. Occasionally it started sort of shouldering up towards something and giving you a nod and a wink, and then it was like Nintendo said, no, none of that. You play it fucking straight. And then they left in the weird thing about the star, which was the leftovers from another script where, you could have a nihilistic fucking child star. Oh, hang on. Suddenly it gets weirder when you say it like that. And yeah, I was like, oh, okay, let's not do that.
Based on the advertising, like the marketing, particularly that one trailer that we all suddenly went, "Ooh, this might not be terrible," and the casting, which on face value, like, Charlie Day, Seth Rogen, Fred Armisen, Keegan-Michael Key, like, it felt like it was going to be aimed at generationally around about us. So it just felt, I think that's when my expectation was off. I wasn't going in expecting an amazing movie. Like, my expectations for the quality of the movie were not high, but I was going in expecting something that was not a straight kids film. And I think that a lot of that talent was kind of wasted.
Keegan-Michael.
I don't think the performances were bad. I just think that there could have been so much more in terms of comedy.
Like Keegan-Michael Key, I was like, oh, he got like Toad, had a lot of lines, but none of them were particularly funny.
But also, like, how many of the voices were modulated? Because I really question how Keegan-Michael Key sounds like Toad. because I didn't hear it at all. And I was like, hang on, who's the voice again? And then you have moments where I like just completely forgot that Mario was Chris Pratt because it just did not sound like him.
And
which was a good thing, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about that part.
That was one of the things I thought was quite good, was that I was like, oh, okay. Actually, I'm not offended by Chris Pratt's performance at all because I didn't recognize it.
Yeah. Such good comedy performers. And the only one that got to do any real comedy was Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
But that was only because they made the character a weird jock comedy character. I don't think he said anything that was actually really funny.
No.
I
was thinking about it going, what did he say that was funny?
No, it's just the characterization of Donkey Kong that they made up. So
yeah, which is also like no other version of Donkey Kong I've run across, but whatever. I mean, there were lots of things in there to enjoy. Like I really enjoyed, when they went back to Donkey Kong's pad, and I'm like, that's the one out of the game. But that's all I was doing throughout the whole thing.
Okay, let's list the things that we enjoyed. Like when you hear that music orchestrally arranged.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice moment.
The music was
a nostalgia hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And hearing
Dion's making a face. Dion didn't play the game though, so Dion doesn't get to be part of this bit of the conversation.
I mean, I understand. Like, I'm not it's cultural osmosis. I mean, I know enough about it because it's just relentless and it's everywhere. And it's just I haven't sat down. Like, if you had said to me, "Oh, do you remember this level in Mario?" I'd be like, "No, I have no idea." But that's okay because I know the rest of it. Like I know that you got to hit bricks and do stuff, and people do speed runs, and that it's all like kind of weird, and they just kind of mash stuff together. And the reason he looks like he does is because that was just the amount of detail they could get to make him stand out on a screen. Like I understand all that sort of stuff, but I had a structural problem with most of the film because I was sitting there going, "What is good about all of this?" Like I mean, it looks nice. It has some nice references, but this is just a 2-hour-long ad for the stuff that is already out there. And just to remind people that they're supposed to be going back home to play Mario. You need to be playing Mario. You need to be playing Mario all the time.
Yeah. And Kanga and Adsky both make points about the non-diegetic music, if you will, the weird choice of like 80s tracks that just got thrown in. And that to me felt really, I don't know, cynical. Like, we know that we need to appeal. Sorry.
You have a huge, like, musical catalog from so many games that you could be choosing from, but you have to bring in outside music, and I don't get it.
Yeah, like Donkey Kong Country has some of the best fucking music around. Like, some of the tracks from that legitimately slap. And yet we went with Take On Me when we go to the Kong land because we wanted something that was going to appeal to the adult audience. Because, I mean, these are 80s tracks. This is not even, appealing to kids.
Yeah, the 80s was 30 years ago.
I pulled my back.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, my God. I just got older.
Does that mean I'm back in my 20s then?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I suddenly now understand Cranky Kong a lot better. But yeah, I don't know. Like there were a bunch of things like that I just was like, what are we doing here? What is this movie setting out to achieve? And
how does it narratively drive the Super Mario universe forward? Why are they all doing these things? How does this happen? I really understand. I love the upgrade where they're like, okay, Bowser wants to marry Princess Peach. That's amazing because all of his army was like, what? At least it gave it an interesting thing. At least it gave it an interesting thing to be like, oh, that's where the movie is going. The movie is doing this thing. They're going to start stuff. And then it just became like, yeah, now we're going to play 17 levels and then we're going to have a boss fight. The end. Anyway, bye now.
But it also feels like that storyline just kind of appeared out of nowhere as well, because the whole start of it was he was collecting the stars from the kingdom, and then we just 180 into actually no, I'm going to marry Princess Peach. I'm like,
well, that's why he wanted
and is this a story about incels and people doing like becoming too much? Like kind of, I was like, whoa, what are you trying to say here, Nintendo? I was like, no, it's saying nothing. It's just Mario.
I'm pretty sure they were not attempting to say anything. Like,
but that's the thing. Like,
and that's the problem with this whole movie. It didn't say anything.
Yeah.
There wasn't even some little dumb kid's moral at the end of it. It was just stuff happened.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't try to violently make women marry you is a message.
I don't know if kids went away with that one though.
I did appreciate that they didn't damsel in distress Peach like she was in the original game.
No,
like I appreciated that it was a rescue Luigi storyline and not a rescue Peach storyline.
Oh God, don't get me started on how they did Luigi dirty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. He was the damsel in distress. Luigi.
You put him in the fucking Luigi's Mansion video game, and then you fuck all with it, and you have all these Dry Bones characters, which is like just fucking awesome. And the Shy Guys, and we didn't see any of the ghosts except for the wedding. There was a Boo at the wedding, and that was it. I'm like,
King Boo,
dude, you had this whole opportunity for the Luigi spooky storyline. You fucking did nothing with it.
Yeah, I had exactly the same thing. I was looking at it going, you've set this up. You've actually given a plausible reason as to why the fuck Luigi would be in Scaryland. And then
how about we do something with
removed.
Luigi here, and then maybe Mario has to like bring Luigi back from the spooky land, and it's like, no, all of a sudden now he's just in like the lava thing in the cage. I'm like, what the fuck was the point of that?
Yeah.
So I feel like we're kind of feeling about like drifting into some more detail-y, spoilery stuff.
Yes, I think you may be right.
Rate and clip, and then but
yes.
Thanks, Peter.
Oh, Peter, you're always so good for us. You keep us on track. So, Peter, do you have any but whys, or do you want to rate and clip?
No, I want to rate and clip. I can't but why without spoiling things.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Well, then, if you do have a rating, put it in the chat. I can't do the thing because we're using a different system. But yes, please write your numbers down, and I will add them so that they do go towards the thing. But now, please give us your rating. Somebody here. I don't care who.
I'll go. I'm going to go. Look, I'm running straight out of the gate. Okay, we're going here. I am giving it 60 gold coins out of 100. Mainly because it's just not for me. But if I was a kid and this was my jam, I'd probably be like 99 coins. Is it coins that he collects? Does Mario still collect coins?
He collects coins, yes.
Does he? Yeah. Does he do anything with said coins?
No. Exactly.
What the fuck is the point of these things? Like, it's not a.
There's no shop. You can't buy weapons. Like, it's just pointless.
I feel like what's the one that he eats when he goes smaller instead of going bigger? Like, that is a great metaphor for the movie, in my opinion.
I feel like I've never come across that mushroom in my video game.
I have.
So you have?
Yeah, it is a thing, but it's only in one game. And I think it's actually the Mario 64, because I'm pretty sure I do remember.
I mean, why are you doing deep cuts? Kids don't get deep cuts. Kids just want the flashy lights, and that's okay. At least Princess Peach was like a bit kick-ass, so I like that.
I did enjoy the flashy lights. I'll talk about that in spoilers.
Yeah. I'm done. I'm done. 60.
All
Dion
right.
says 60.
I'm slightly angry at the movie because I didn't want it to be a kid's film. I wanted something for me, damn it. So I'm giving it 45 gold rings because because Sega wins. I wholeheartedly I'm going to put this out there. The fucking Sonic the Hedgehog movies are better than the Mario movies.
Oh, toaster!
I said it.
Oh, wow. Jill really didn't get into it. 45.
I'm so sad. I'm really angry.
I don't know if I don't know whether to rate it based on my personal enjoyment of it or to recognize that it's not for me and rate it based on how I feel it performs as a children's film, which is what it intends to be. I honestly don't know which one to go for, because if I rate it based on my personal enjoyment, it would be fairly low. But I don't know that that's fair to the film because not everything is for me, and sometimes we just have to accept that.
You can lift us back up, Pete.
Yeah.
Pull us out of the gutter I put us in.
No, just let it go.
Go with the Wii and the
I'm
doo-doo.
giving it a 64 because that is the console that I played the game on.
64!
Will you still
Nice.
feed me?
I
Will you
can't
still
rate it too
feed me?
highly because I really did not have a good time, but I don't want to trash it because it so clearly was not designed for me to have a good time in. So it's not like it's done a bad job being what it is. I also found the animation overly cutesy and that annoyed me. Anyway, moving on.
Agreed.
Oh, yeah. But
yeah,
he was
there-
Raccoon Mario and Cat Mario.
Tanuki Mario, and I'm like, I don't even remember ever playing with Cat Mario. I don't remember that at all.
It probably wasn't real, Quinny. It's like the Berenstain Bears. Or Berenstain Bears. Everyone has
Why
a
would-
different opinion. Were you
Why would
playing
you do that?
off-brand Aldi Mario? Like what?
Aldi Mario.
That's Murio.
Yeah, Murio. It's me. Or is it
Actually,
more
I
German?
do remember as a
Ich
kid.
bin ein me, Murio.
Well, I remember as a kid on the Commodore 64, somebody had made their own Aldi Mario. It was they weren't the Mario Brothers. This was the Great Gianna Sisters, and it was the exact same levels. They just had dresses.
Fucking love it.
And
I love it.
yeah, turns out that game is remarkably difficult to play on a control, like a stick, as opposed to a control pad. So Gianna Sisters on the Commodore 64, 3 out of 10. Fuck that game.
But the Mario Brothers movie, Quinny, how
The
about
Mario
it?
Brothers movie, however, fuck it. I feel your pain, Pete, because I recognize what it's for, but I also think that you can do what it's for, which is appealing to kids, and being a loving kind of all-embracing Mario movie that loves its source material and not be shit. Because I kind of came out of it going, well, that was nothing. You know,
I came out of it literally saying, well, that was a movie I just saw.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there was just so many moments where you thought, oh, they're going to do something interesting, and then didn't. I mean, Peach, who I think is a great character, you know, who was a blank slate for most of it. I really like, even when she's been given the kind of kick-ass go and do stuff and, you know, fight the bad guy stuff, I still couldn't tell you a single character trait about her.
I've got to say, Anya was a pretty weak performance for me in this film too.
Yeah. I mean,
Wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, what I don't know. Like, is it okay? I think I'm probably around where Dion's at. I'm gonna go a 58. Yeah, random number generator just pulls out a fucking number. Oh, Kanga, that's actually a
We'll
really
figure out
good
your ass.
description. It is a bit like candy floss. It's very sugary.
Candy Crush is a different game, Quinny.
Oh, Sugar Rush. See, okay, there you go. There's another game to movie thing, a la Wreck-It Ralph, that was funny, heartfelt, knowing, but at the same time, it wasn't a game that actually existed. But at least,
but that's how you do referential and still have a plot.
Exactly. Yeah, it didn't like it,
That's
and
when
it
you
had
had to have
something
a
to fucking
script.
say.
This is when you had to have a script. This movie was just fucking like it's already there. It's just like we're just going to put the things that already exist up on the screen, and people are going to look at it and be like, "Yay!"
Yeah.
And you know what? That's the target audience. A bunch of kids who are like, "Yay!"
Okay, so
I
we are
love that
about to go
just
in.
have this uneven and emotive system of rating things where we just kind of like,
Yeah, but
look, it was
Did you
fun,
expect
but it made
anything
me
else from
mad,
us?
so no.
Look,
Yeah.
other weeks we try really hard, Pete, but I think this one
Look,
just hurt
okay.
us all on a visceral level.
On a technical level, yes, it's beautiful. It's a stunning looking film. It's, you know, lovely animation. It moves along at a hell of a click. It's got beautiful music. and the performances aren't terrible, but it's a soulless fucking. It's a dry bones of a film.
The same thing could possibly be said for the Super Mario franchise, how they just keep rolling out games with minor adjustments and they're not making anything stylistically or related. But I mean, I
wouldn't
wouldn't
hear
know.
anything bad about the franchise.
But I wouldn't know because I've never played them. So, how would I know?
And I haven't played them since 1999.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
I'm looking just off screen and see my Switch and go, I've played Mario Kart quite recently and it's still fun.
Right.
It's still fucking great.
Sorry, for a second I thought you were talking about a knife that you had off screen. Like, I'm going to stab Peter. I've got my
I'll
Switch
not
here.
hear a bad thing about Super Mario versus Sonic at the Olympics. Thank you very much.
And that was
We have been waiting years for that.
We did manage to revive the old Nintendo 64 last Christmas and play Mario Kart. So
Holy shit.
I have played
That's
it
awesome.
recently.
And I mean, I like that they were referencing a whole bunch of other stuff in here. Like, I enjoyed that they referenced Smash Bro. The whole fight with Donkey Kong was clearly, a Smash Brothers level. And that's cool. And, they're referencing Kid Icarus and Punch-Out and all these classic Nintendo things.
The Kid Icarus was good. They fucking went with the Jumpman. They referenced Jumpman, which was what Super Mario was before he was Super Mario.
And Donkey Kong before, Mario was Mario was the hero on Donkey Kong, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Barrel tossing and all that.
Yeah, there was a heap of fun in there, but yeah, it just all felt like all of those films where it's like, if we just say the name of another film, is that a comedy reference?
Oh my God. Just the bit where they're like, okay, well, if we're going to do this, we're going to need carts. I'm like, why?
Why? Didn't you go
Because
for an
Super
army?
Mario Kart is another game we haven't talked about yet, guys. So we need carts.
Do you feel like the writer's room was just a whiteboard and they just sat around and went, what do you remember? And they just put everything up.
Exactly.
And they're like, that. And then they're like, okay, let's put this one here and this one here and this one here and there, and then go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got Jack Black as Bowser.
They did one of those mind maps and they just wrote everything down.
So the question I have for you, we're about to go to our clip and so forth.
Yep.
Before we go to a spoiler section, which I'm not entirely sure what we can spoil, but there you go. Now, do you want the trailer for the 1993 Super Mario Brothers movie?
Yes.
Or do you want a clip from this film?
1993 Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah, I thought that maybe.
93.
Okay. See, Karina's made another good point about a Link and Zelda film. I'd love to see a Zelda film, but also, Link doesn't talk, so it's going to be a weird fucking film. Okay, let's check out. Like, this is not the first time that they've attempted to make a Super Mario film. The last one was interesting. Let's have a look at that. Get ready for some lens action.
Where are we? I got a feeling we're not in Brooklyn no more. They're brothers. They're plumbers. Oh no. Luigi! They're on the trail of a kidnapped princess and a mystical meteorite. It's incredible!
Look who that is.
That gives anyone who is the power to rule the universe. Get me the rock! Come and get it, lizard breath! Now, they must rescue the princess. Alien species escaping. And make it safely back. Later, alligator, to our world. Are you alright? Before time runs out. See him! Look out, Mario! Get him! Yes! No, stop! No, not again! Super Mario Brothers. This ain't no game.
Look, everyone still went on to have strong careers, so don't knock it.
Flawless, no notes.
When you
No
look at that
game.
and you realize that's what 93, so that's 30 years ago.
I literally forgot about the little tiny dinosaur head guys.
Yeah,
They were the
So I
good
saw it
bit.
and I was like, oh yeah.
And there's
I
a bit
thought-
in the lift where they all do this sort of Goomba dance thing.
I have a joke about like what's the Japanese burger chain that came over here? Moss Burger.
Moss Burger.
Yeah, I have a thing where I go like, my opinion of that is as if a bunch of Japanese corporate people came over and looked at a McDonald's and then went back and explained it to a bunch of Japanese engineers about how to make hamburgers and then let the Japanese make it, and then that's how that Moss. But this is the other way around. I think what had happened is there was a bunch of American executives went over and looked at Super Mario Brothers and then went back and explained it to a bunch of people from Hollywood and did fucking half the budget in cocaine and came up with that.
Accurate.
Yeah,
I just
accurate.
love
And then
I
and gave
remember looking at it
another 10 kilos of cocaine to Bob Hoskins to who was
Dennis Hopper.
who was Dennis Hopper as well, and that convinced him to put on that dyed blonde thing. Jesus,
That's
anyway.
because he was a Tyrannosaurus Rex, Dion. Do you not remember
he?
that?
Is he
Yes, he is.
great?
Well, the thing that I look at that and I'm like, who looked at the Mario oeuvre and went, what we need is more cyberpunk. What we need is a dark, gritty, metallic cyberpunk, nightmarescape. That's what Mario says to me.
It's Bad Boys meets RoboCop meets
Highlander 2.
Yes. The flying fucking boots and everything.
Yep.
Okay. Well, now that we have, and Demolition Man, yes. Okay. So, here there be spoilers. We are in the spoiler section. What else do we have to say?
What have I not spoiled yet? Sorry, guys.
Oh, and also, can I just also say, like, while we're in this spoilers,
Yes.
I just checked. The Super Mario Brothers movie is available now for free to watch on SBS On Demand. You can go and watch that right now
Well,
if you
I
want
paid
to.
to see it last night.
No,
No.
the old one, the
The good
1993 one.
The
The
good
good
one.
You've got the
Right. I
power.
was like, hang on.
And don't forget that the key song, even though that trailer is I've Got the Power, the key song is a Roxette number. So do not go too far away from Roxette. It's very important. Oh, somebody's got a beeping noise. That's very exciting. Okay, so spoilers. Where do we start with spoilers for this?
Well, it's hard to spoil too much given the distinct lack of plot.
Yep.
Okay,
But
my
why do you
favorite
think it's a
moment
good
was the
idea?
last. Yep.
To run the missile into the portal back to your own world.
Oh my god!
Just
Please
run it into the
explain it to
ocean.
me.
It's right there.
Please, somebody explain that to me.
Mario's an idiot.
Oh, I've got an idea.
How did he think that was a good idea?
Karina's asking, does
I'm
Yoshi
glad
eat
my line is
eggs?
doing that thing where it goes off.
Oh no. Karina, we do not know whether Yoshi eats eggs because he ain't in the film.
There are Yoshi creatures, but not Yoshi.
And the very, very last post-credit sequence is Yoshi's egg cracking, but by which point...
Wait, there was a post-credit sequence because
we
I did
didn't
not stick
stay
around
for
for
it,
that one.
Dion. No, we did not
Why?
stay.
Yeah, even sitting for the first one was a bit like, oh, fuck's sake, okay.
What happened in the first one? I can't even remember the first post-credit.
Which he
was
was playing the
the-
song again,
he's playing
but it's a
Peaches
tiny
again.
one.
Oh.
And then shut up in there.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Which, okay, cool.
My favorite bit was at the end, though, where they got the star power, and then Beck and I both were like, we had our feet up in the recliners, and we were going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think we were all, and I admittedly, structurally, I had forgotten what the star did. So when they finally got it
No.
and the music started, I was like, actually, I feel this has paid off in some small way.
Yeah.
And the fact that they basically turned into utter fucking badasses who can just kill everything. Well, you know,
But was
smack
anyone else
everything.
like confused about why we were so concerned about like destroying the Toad's world, but not so concerned about destroying downtown Brooklyn?
Clearly, Mario
I
and
mean, that
Luigi
would have
hate
been
the human
that would
race.
have been a death toll
Mm.
from those actions. Were we not concerned about that? Because I was
No.
concerned about that watching the movie. I was like, Mario, are you not concerned?
No. Why
no,
would you be?
because
He's just
Well,
fallen a
he
very,
wasn't
very...
concerned enough to deter the bomb from going to Brooklyn in the first place.
Let's just send it there.
Yeah.
I know that this is where my home and family is, but fuck them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially that uncle that always talks shit to me. So fuck that guy.
Yeah.
And that poor grandfather who never gets enough spaghetti.
Yeah.
I did like, but also feel slightly bad for the guy. That Charles Martinet, who is the voice of the original Mario, appears twice in the film. Once as old man standing next to an arcade cabinet who sounds like Mario.
The guy playing Jumpman. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also Mario's dad. And I was like, I'm glad that he got two roles, but at the same time, you could have just put him into the fucking role.
Yeah.
Nobody would have noticed.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole idea of getting Chris Pratt to play it was actually pointless.
Mm.
Because most of the time I was listening to it go, oh, well, Chris Pratt didn't do a bad job, but he also didn't do a job that was memorable. So,
And you know what? If you're going to like Hollywood cast the whole film and then not do any kind of story for an adult, what is the point?
Yeah.
Kids don't fucking
And
know.
that's one of the reasons I was confused.
Yeah.
The casting set up a particular expectation about the particular kind of humor that was going to be presented. And
you can't get a movie made nowadays unless you have a face actor doing the voice for a thing that people, it's kind of like so strange. It's like, oh, we won't give you money for that project. It's like, why? Like, you don't see that person. You're not sitting there going, you know, how is that working? It's just very frustrating.
Imagine how much money they would save if they didn't have to pay the A-list celebrities.
Exactly.
Yeah. They could have afforded a scriptwriter.
But then again,
Yeah.
yes. But then again, if they probably, you know, wouldn't have raised enough revenue to make it look fine. Maybe it would have been like a scene missing here halfway through.
Yeah. And as Karita says, it's not like they're being mocapped for this shit. It's not like, you know,
They're just
Chris
standing
Pratt
in a
was on the
booth and
soundstage.
reading a line.
Yeah.
Walk to the mic, say the line, get out. Okay, thank you.
can I ask a question about a reference that I missed?
Sure.
Go for it.
In Toad
I just need to know, is it a but why?
Land, whatever
Mushroom
it was,
Kingdom.
The
they
Mushroom
passed
King, yes.
Mushroom Kingdom. Thank you. In Mushroom Kingdom, they passed by an antique store selling something, and I didn't clock what the antiques were that they were selling, and I'm assuming that it was
They
old
were
cartridges.
Well, they're old cartridges and also
They like
old.
blow into it.
Oh right, okay.
But also they were selling like old things from the earlier game. So there was a hammer that was clearly made out of very big pixels. That was the one that he used to get to bash the barrels with and stuff like that. It was like, yeah. So
I assumed it was reference. It just wasn't on screen quick enough, and then I was like, I missed the joke. Oh no, it's gone.
yeah.
Oh no, I'll have to go back and watch it. I'm not going back.
And I'm not going to do that. That's what I asked.
No, wait. Don't.
I'm sure New Rockstars will do a video with all the Easter eggs you missed.
Yeah. My God, they will. Yeah.
152 Easter eggs you missed.
Yeah. Well, I like what a few people are saying, that, you know, there's one of the things is that you get value from your stars from them doing the press tour. Like, you know, this is why you get Jack Black and you get fucking Chris Pratt and everybody, because doing the junkets, they get people talking about it.
Did I miss any of the press for these?
There was some for Jack Black.
Okay.
I think Jack Black's pretty much the one that, you know, got the most out of it.
Sure.
I thought he did a good job as Bowser.
Yeah, it was like the only thing that kept me entertained through that movie.
He was also the only thing, like, cast member that I think was given enough to do that was in his particular comic wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sly asked the question, how old is Mario supposed to be? In his 20s, his teens, or his bedroom says he's a 10-year-old who has a job.
I would love it if he was I love it if they just established he was 45 years old and still living at home. That'd be great. Still trying to make it as a plumber.
And who was the bad plumber meant to be? Like evil plumber who's like, you'll never make it, Mario. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, at that time we thought the movie had a plot. And
yeah,
it was that they hired a writer to like, how do we get Mario from Brooklyn into the magic world? And they had someone write up, well, he does this and he goes here and he does that, and it's all there, and he finds a magic pipe, and then
they're like, okay, thanks, bye.
And I'm kind of saying, like, I'm not sure how they went with that, but if someone finds a magic pipe in Brooklyn, you're on meth. If he's just there, he's just sitting in an underground train station, having this as a hallucination, going, "I'm saying Princess Peach. Oh no, the dragon's come to kill me." It's like, wow, okay, that's the real Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah. There was a character in there that I quite liked some of the Donkey Kong games. So Donkey Kong Country and Diddy Kong Racing and all those things. I really enjoyed those. And I felt like the entire Donkey Kong land felt really confusingly weird. Like it didn't feel like any of the games. Cranky Kong, who's Fred Armisen, I was like, I didn't feel like he was Cranky Kong. He just felt like a grumpy character. Like nothing felt like what I expected it to feel like. And there was not a single Wario or Waluigi or anyone in there. I'm like, you've got so much fucking capacity for comedy there. And they're like, no, we will play it straight.
The next film,
Yeah, true.
I saw Diddy Kong and the sister, and I was like,
yeah.
And that game that I played.
Yeah.
I'm like, I fucking hate Diddy Kong.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I really hate Diddy Kong.
Oh.
Gets on my nerves. So I was like, there's that little fucker I
hate. I guess one of the things, I played a lot of Diddy Kong Racing, which was sort of, it was a heap of fun. And so there are a bunch of characters in there that I was like, I'd like to see them, but also you can't have everybody.
Yeah. Donkey Kong Country that had too much Diddy Kong, for my opinion.
Yeah, well, true. I would have liked to have seen them bring in Conker from Conker's Bad Fur Day, and that would have really fucked with this film.
Yeah.
Oh no, we've lost Dion.
Oh no.
Dear. Well, that was always a possibility. He's back. Hey!
I'm sort of here. What's going on? What I miss? Sorry.
Nothing. Literally.
I got to pedal faster.
Kango is wanting more Crash Team Racing. I think that's the wrong universe, but whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. Is there anything that was actually spoilery that we could possibly spoil in this?
That Bowser gets defeated.
Yep. Cool.
Well, actually,
you know what?
Chris Pratt didn't do a terrible job. He was absolutely fine.
Because he was unrecognizable, and that was the good bit.
Yeah.
But I just realized I don't think I saw chomp chains.
No, there were lots of metal ones, but no Bow Wows or anything like that.
No.
I didn't. Yes. I don't think there is much to spoil about it because literally, as we have explained through the whole place, there was no plot. Yeah. It was just a series of vignettes of things you recognize. And the only thing that could spoiler it is if you're going in and you're wondering if you're going to see any references, you're going to see a lot of references, but they're going to be so fast and they're not going to have any depth to them. You'll be left feeling a little unsatisfied because you'll be like, oh, look, it's a pyramid level. Oh, yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a thing. It's gone.
There are so many different levels and stuff that could have been explored that weren't. And you're like,
the only thing that I learned, the only spoiler that I learned about Mario that I didn't know from the rest of the time was that he hates mushrooms. That's it. That's the only thing that they added that I was like, oh, he doesn't like mushrooms and he's forced to eat them. So that's funny.
Yeah. Actually, I will say that Samuel has made a point that I did quite like the bit at the end where he picked up Bowser by the tail and swung it around, because that was the end of Mario 64. Sorry, Pete, if you haven't got to the end yet. I apologize. Well, I mean, we are in the spoiler section, so you have been warned.
I played Mario 64 all the way to the end. Thank you very much. I'm not a quitter.
Right.
And did you swing around Bowser? Great.
Good.
It was a long time ago, so I forget exactly what I did to end it, but I ended it.
I'm not sure what war crime I committed, but I definitely committed a war crime.
Wow.
I was a computer game kid. I wasn't a console game kid. Like,
So
it
what
was a
what
whole
computer
different
games
thing.
were you playing? Great Gianna Sisters? That was on a computer. No.
I bet she was playing Where in the World Was Carmen Sandiego.
Very early on, yes. But
Yeah.
Is
that
anyone
was
going to go out and play
very
Mario
early.
again? Is this encourage anyone to go back and start, jumping up and hitting bricks?
I do want to get my Game Boy from Mum and Dad's and pull out the old Super Mario Brothers. Yeah.
Well, you're in luck, Jill, because next week, what are we reviewing?
Oh, the better Nintendo game, fucking Tetris. The game that I cannot ever put down. Cannot ever put down. Especially when it gets really fast and you're like, fuck.
and then the batteries die as the screen starts to flicker, and you're like, no, I'm going to get high score.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Peta Kangaroo has just told me that, oh God, there's a sequel to Gianna Sisters. Holy shit.
Right.
A recent one.
What?
Well, yeah, sorry to derail that one, but next week, what are we doing next week instead of Renfield, which got moved? So I was like, shit. And then I had to update that one quickly.
Yeah, Tetris.
Which I am looking forward to. I haven't watched it yet.
Where can you see it?
Apple TV
You can
Plus.
see it on Apple TV, which
Yeah.
you should all be currently subscribed to, given there are new episodes of Ted Lasso out.
Oh, that's so good.
The new Schmigadoon Schmicago has also started to drop. So there is a lot happening over on Apple TV right now.
And don't stop there. Once you finish with Tetris, don't forget to check out the next week after that, which will be Shrinking. So go from Tetris to Shrinking to Schmigadoon to Ted Lasso. Wait.
Don't worry,
I
Samuel, we
believe
won't
well
spoil
worth
anything.
a couple of months of subscription to Apple to catch up on these shows, because there's some quality shit on there.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, for a channel that started out with some questionable content, I'm looking at you, see.
Okay, it was one thing.
You'll hate C, but like you wait for season 4, man. John Cena's in there. It's a whole thing. John Cena comes in and says, "You can't see me," and Jason Momoa's like, "I know.
I couldn't see you anyway, bro.
Anyway.
I'm blind."
Hi, I'll make all your shit gold.
Like you, the trailer for Peta Kangaroo saying that Schmicago has you very tempted to watch Schmigadoon.
Please watch Schmigadoon.
Because I didn't watch the first season of it, but the trailer for Schmicago made me go, "Oh, I think I might have to go back and watch it."
You have to.
But if you do it, you kind of have to watch season 1.
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
Sorry.
Samuel's throwing some shade at us, saying boomer humor. Fuck you, buddy. we are Gen Xers and proud. We will fight you.
Wait a second. I don't own real estate. How can I be a
not
boomer?
us. We're not Gen Xers and proud.
No, we are elder millennials.
Elder millennials.
Boo.
Oh, fuck.
Thank you.
Boo.
Dion and I are Gen Xers.
Are we?
And tired.
I thought it was a Y.
No,
I don't know.
you're not Dion. I'm sorry. You've missed the
Generation. I'm non-interested.
Generation Y?
Generation. I'm
Peter,
generation what's up because for the first Budweiser, so whatever year that came
What's
out.
up?
The first thing on the internet was like, what's up? Oh, okay, that's really dangerous.
Peter, you are Generation Budweiser.
Have we got an outro?
We do. We're going to go out with an actual clip from this film. because fuck it, why not? This is a montage of training, which I'm sure is probably to a totally inappropriate song. I cannot raid another channel because we're using StreamYard and it's all very, very difficult. But I will play this. It's a very short clip, so that means I've got to get the other thing very ready very quickly. Okay, Karina's got to go and watch it anyway, even after all of our shit talking.
Good for you, Karina.
Yeah, she knows that she's not going in with anything. It's exactly like I am.
You know
don't
what? We have
expect
set
anything.
the expectations properly for enjoyment.
Super low.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, Slide Buddy.
Thanks everyone for coming.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. And good night.
If you can finish this, you're coming with me. Watch and learn.
I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not sit here counting zeros in a cubicle downtown. I wanna look out my window, see 'em flying, and swing across the horizon as I cheer 'em on so proud. Deep-powered girl keeps staring at her face, and call Colossus and have him teach me ways, and then we'd exercise. I'd be one of the guys. With martial arts from iron fist and wall, I'll dab her up and teach her all my songs. Oh, I wanna live in a world full of heroes, not cooking up these heroes at my parents' restaurant now. I wanna yell out adventures assemble, not order up for Ethel. Yeah, we're out of cheeky now. Date Emma Frost and have her read my mind. Or Magdalena, her artifacts I find, and then we catch a symphony. The